What does it take to save a life of promise that has been derailed by drug and alcohol abuse?
If you talk to any one of the men who've gone through Pivot, you'll find that it has had a life-changing impact, obviously, on that person, on their family, on their parents, on their spouse or girlfriend or their children or whoever. So it clearly impacts every individual who goes through Pivot, and I don't think it would be exaggerating to say it saves lives.
Elias Castro entered the Pivot program in January 2009.
I was dealing with drugs and alcohol, and I really didn't have God in my life at all.
And then he broke into somebody's place and he was trying to steal from them. He got stabbed. I mean, there was a lot of, I was mainly every day crying and praying that, he'd change, that something would happen, and he'd straighten out his life.
It changed a lot coming here. It woke me up. It was like a smack in the face, to be honest. But it was good. I definitely needed it. And now I know the truth, and that's the most important thing to me.
He has since graduated the program and continues to make a number of strides along his journey. Elias, who is now 19 years old, is just one of thousands of lives forever changed by Pivot, which was built upon a rock and stands as a pillar in the heart of Bridgeport's east side and in South Norwalk. The name Pivot was chosen because it means a point of turning.
They're here in Pivot learning a better way. And it's just not a temporary thing. It's just not putting a Band-Aid on a gaping wound. These men's lives are being changed.
The program began in Norwalk 40 years ago, before taking root in Bridgeport. It's open to people of different backgrounds, and what's unique is that the program lasts from a year to 16 months, while most others are 90 days.
There's a lot of programs out there that have a revolving door. People are in and out, and they still go back to the same things. So that was a concern, that he was going to go through all that and still end up back where he was originally. Because it happens a lot in a lot of programs. Not this one, obviously.
Pivot provides psychosocial assessments to identify needs up front, then follows through with professional counseling, Bible classes, and other curriculum to help the men experience positive behavioral, spiritual, and mental transformations. They learn relapse prevention and become empowered to endure complete recovery. The 3 Pivot homes house 50 or so residents, including staff. These dwellings provide a safe haven with all the comforts of home, including transportation, good food, and comfortable rooms. All the while, the staff emphasize the importance of being organized, responsible, presentable, and well-mannered.
Yes, sir. How you doing today, Deacon? I'm all right, my brother.
There's also an overwhelming sense of brotherly love and support. Running a comprehensive program like Pivot requires a great deal of help. In addition to prayer, financial contributions, volunteers, and churches and pastors are Pivot's lifelines.
It takes money to be able to run this ministry. Right now it takes about $45,000 a month to run Pivot. So finances are a big thing. We have, in the last 5 years, we have tripled in students.
And it takes $35 a day to support each student. Financial donations cover utilities, food, toiletries, classes, and job training. Elias is living proof of how training gained through Pivot can transform a life.
Coming into the program, he accomplished a lot of things. He's got his GED, he got his driver's license, he's entering college.
And now, he also works for Pivot. Under the supervision of Richard Williams, Elias supports the GED program.
He's got a plan. That's the main thing, that he's standing on solid ground now.
I think with the new community center, the classroom that we have built in the back, the greenhouse effort, we think that there's going to be a lot of opportunity in green jobs going forward, and if we can have our Pivot men be prepared and trained in this area, the likelihood of them finding employment is higher, and employment is going to help them stay sober and be better prepared to, recontribute to the community.
Bridgeport Mayor Bill Finch shares the same sentiment. From city grants to properties, he continues to be a major supporter of Pivot Ministries.
We're very excited about the greenhouse project, the land being cleared now and getting ready for a foundation. And then in addition to that, buying an adjacent piece of property we're going to try to help facilitate through the city if we can, so that they can have that building renovated by the men in the program, learning a skill at the same time they're creating a place for them and the people that come after them.
Bob Reeder is a member of St. Paul's Church in Darien. He's been a financial donor for the past 5 years.
We became very impressed with what they were doing with the men. They were taking these men who people had given up hope on. They had alcohol problems, they had drug problems, and they were taking them, and they had a great success rate of turning them around and focusing their lives on Christ. And there's probably nothing worse than seeing a life that has so much value and so much talent just wasted. And so what they were doing was just completely turning these men around, and we thought that that was just terrific. We felt there was no greater organization you could give to somebody who were really giving these men a second chance.
Many of the men who enter Pivot do not have the financial means to pay for the program, and Pivot will not turn anyone away.
He was received with open arms. I mean, the money I had a couple of dollars, to give to Pivot Ministry, but I'm not rich. And it was at the time that I was about to lose my job too. So I didn't have the finances to fully, comply with the program, but I had enough to get him started.
If it wasn't for the people outside donating and supporting Pivot, I wouldn't have been able to eat. So, it's really important that they did that.